What's good, R&B squad? This is Heart of Ruth. I trust that this message meets you guys in good spirits. If you are new to this family, we don't believe that you're here by accident. Welcome. We're happy to have you. And Jesus is, of course, always happier. So the message that I have today, the messages that I have today, because it's two, comes from two separate dreams that I had. I had the dreams on the same night, but they were two separate dreams. And for some of you, you may be able to relate to both. For others of you, you may only be able to relate to one. But y'all know how we do it here. Eat the meat, spit out the bone, take what's for you, and leave the rest. Now, in the first dream, there were these two women. They were having a conversation. And they were having this conversation in the outdoors. It was outside. It looked like a yard or some kind of park or something. I just knew they were outdoors. And what I noticed immediately is that the second woman was dressed exactly like the first woman, right down to her hair. She even had her hair dyed in the same color. And the first woman mentioned the fact that the second woman was dressed just like her, and she didn't even mention it in an insulting way. She just casually mentioned, well, I noticed that you got your hair done like mine and that you're wearing a similar outfit. And the second woman got offended when the first woman pointed this out, even though I don't know why she got offended because it was so obvious. I was standing there looking at her like, well, sis, it's obvious. What I will say, though, is that even though the second woman did her best to try to look exactly like the first woman, she still didn't. So even though they had the same hair color, they were wearing pretty much the same outfit, the way the first woman was put together was completely different. She had like a more, how can I say it, a more polished appearance than the second woman. And I could tell when I was looking at the second woman that not only was she offended and angry by the fact that the first woman pointed out that she was dressed like her, but she also seemed to be upset by the fact that she put in all of that effort and she was still not able to have the same effect or accomplish the same thing, have the same outcome as this other woman in terms of how she looked. And then she does something that's very strange. She begins to, there was this tap nearby. She goes to this tap and she begins to wash her hair. And as she washes her hair, the dye that she has in her hair, that she used to color her hair exactly like the other woman's hair, it starts to come out, and it comes out really easily. Like the water just takes it out. And I'm standing there looking at her washing this dye out, and I'm thinking, wow, it wasn't even real dye. Like it wasn't even permanent color or anything like that. It was a fake. And that was the end of the dream. Now, in the second dream, I'm going to explain the first dream to y'all in a bit. In the second dream, there was this woman looking through what appeared to be like one of those sketchbooks. It was a sketchbook that belonged to her significant other, to her person. And as she was looking through the pages of the sketchbook, what I saw her looking at were some pieces of artwork, and there were some notes in there as well. And as she was turning the pages, I came to understand that what she was looking at was the outline of a plan that he had made for her. So he was planning something for her, and he had the outline in the sketchbook. And some of the artwork that I saw were actually images of him proposing to her. And then the other things were just notes about how he planned to do what he was planning for her. And as she turned the pages, I noticed that she got upset. And then she says aloud, he just took all of my ideas and that's it. He's just replicating my ideas. And she got upset. And it seemed as though she didn't even want, she overlooked the fact that he was planning something for her. She overlooked the fact that he was going to do something special for her. Instead, she focused on the fact that it seemed as though he had just taken her ideas. Like she had come up with those ideas herself, and he took them, and it was looking like he was passing it off as his own, and that irritated her. And that was the end of the dream. So now let me get into the interpretation of the first dream. For someone, there is a person who has played a significant role in blocking you from the things that were rightfully yours, blocking you from your blessings, blocking you from making advancement. And also, you're going to feel as though, or you have felt as though, this person was just sucking out little pieces of you. It was as though, and for some of you, you actually saw this happening to the extent where they were copying you, like copying the way you look, copying the way you did your hair. If you're a guy, you have a beard, they grew out a beard too, trying to make it look like yours, and so on and so forth. So you may be used to this person. Every time you embark on an opportunity or there's something that you want to do and they find out about it, they go and try to do the same thing. There was something deeper than that going on. This person was literally trying to be a blessing blocker. And they thought, and I did put something like this in the community post the other day. They thought that if they became exactly like you, and they did everything you did, they talked the way you talk, they dressed the way you dressed, they tried to imitate all of your hobbies and so on, that they would be able to somehow replace you and take your blessings. And y'all, we ought to pray for people like that, because there is a serious lack of self-love. Like, you really don't know whom God created you to be if you expend all of this effort into trying to be just like somebody else, into trying to take their blessings, trying to have their gifts. You are ignoring the person that God created you to be by doing that. But anyhow, this person played a significant role in blocking you. They're a blessing blocker, more or less. And for a time, it may have seemed as though they were getting their way. It may have seemed as though what they were doing was really getting to a point where it was sucking little pieces out of you. But the fact that they were out in the open, they were having this discussion in the outdoors, other people could pass by and see them. I was passing by and overheard them. And the fact that this woman went to the tap and started to wash her hair out, and the dye came out, whereas the first woman, her hair was naturally that color. That tells me that this person is going to be exposed for the fake that they are. Because I remember looking at her washing her hair out, washing the dye out of her hair, and I thought, wait a minute, the dye was fake. It wasn't even like real. She didn't even have permanent color in there. So this person is going to be exposed not just to you, but to others for the fake that they are. The fake friend, the fake supporter. People are just going to see that this person is false, they're fake, and that they never really meant well where you were concerned. They were just jealous of you this entire time. And God is going to show you in such a way what this person has been doing that you're never going to trust them again. You're never going to go back. You're never going to revisit the friendship. Or even if it's a family member, you're going to keep this person at arm's length, because now you know, you've always felt it, but now you have solid proof that this person really doesn't mean well. So that was the interpretation of the first dream. Now for the second dream, for someone, your significant other, and this can apply to you whether or not you are even speaking with this person right now. You may not even be on speaking terms with him or with her. You may not even know what is going on their end, or you may be on speaking terms with them. This person is planning something for you, and whatever it is they're planning, it's really special and it's really big. But when they reveal the plan to you, you may be a little bit upset, because it may come off to you like they just copied everything that you ever told them about this particular thing. Let's say, for example, you have a birthday coming up and you told them, I've always wanted to do this and this and this for my birthday. When they do it for you, you're going to feel as if they just ripped off your ideas and they didn't include anything special in there that they came up with for themselves. And for some reason, that is going to annoy you. I'm not sure why, but it's going to annoy you. Now, in my opinion, this is my humble opinion, if somebody took the time to listen to you and take notes about what you like, and then they did exactly what they know you would like, I would say that this person really cared about you, that they really paid attention. But everyone sees things differently. So for whatever reason, you're going to feel a little bit offended by the fact, or you're going to be a little annoyed at the fact that they followed what you said to the T and they didn't add anything original to it, something that they came up with on their own. And then the other thing is that you're going to assume that all of it just came from them imitating you. You're going to feel like like maybe you have written down some things somewhere yourself. Maybe you have a book of plans that you've written down, and you may feel like they somehow got hold of it. And that's where they took the ideas from, and they never would have come up with any of those things had they not done that. But just to clear things up for you, the Lord said to tell you that He inspired them to do these things. He inspired them to go through with this plan in the way that they're going through with it. So, not all of it. Yes, they were listening to you. Yes, they were paying attention to what you like. But some of those details in there, if you pay close attention when this thing happened, you realize that they could not have gotten it from anybody else but God, because you didn't tell them about it. You may have told them some things, they may be aware of some things, but there are other things that you have not even discussed with them yet. So there is no reason to get upset. I'm not invalidating your feelings or anything like that, but there is no reason to get upset. Just know that this person, every step of this plan for this special thing that they're going to do for you, is them being led by God. They're not doing any of this on their own. And they're really doing it with the intention of putting a smile on your face. They want you to go, wow, when you see it. And the fact that this person, I'm telling you, that man had pages upon pages in this sketchbook of these colorful artworks and notes and stuff that were all dedicated to putting this plan into motion for this woman. And that tells me that this person really cares about you enough to go into detail and make things perfect as possible for you when they do this special thing. Now, I should add that because I saw artwork in there in the sketchbook of a man proposing to a woman, for some of you, this is actually this person coming to you and proposing to you. That's what they're planning. That's what they're currently planning. And when they do propose to you, please be appreciative of the effort that they put in. Don't get mad. They're just trying to put a smile on your face. I hope that this message blessed someone. I hope that if it was for you, it did bring you some comfort. I love you guys. I will be back with another word as soon as the Lord releases me. Take care.